Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Unapologetically Speaking with Dr. C. I am Dr. C and I am so glad to have everyone here. If you like what you see and like what you hear, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So in today's video, let's get into it because I am excited to bring this to you today. You know that I don't like being stuck, so that's why I decided to just go in that way, just take my coaching aspect, not the doctor aspect, but my coaching aspect in the trajectory of helping people get unstuck because I'm the expert at that. What makes me the expert? Because I've been stuck 100 times, maybe a million. So I know how to get up out of something. Okay. So, but today what we're going to talk about being stuck in relationships. So I'm going to talk about today the 14 biggest mistakes that can keep you in a toxic relationship. Keep stuck. Toxic relationship. And we're going to talk about that. And this is not just for women. This is for men. This is for everybody. Because, men get in relationships with toxic women all the time. It happens. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me break down these 14. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, even if you don't like this video, come on, give me feedback. I would love to talk to you about this. Let's have a grown folks conversation about the 14 biggest mistakes that keep you or that can keep you, make sure I use the word can, in a toxic relationship. So let's get into it. Number 1, ignoring red flags. So when you see me looking down, people, I'm going to digress for a minute. I'm looking down at my notes. I have to take notes. It's important to me. Yeah, I take all my notes so I can bring to you exactly what's on my mind and what's on my heart. So number 1 is ignoring red flags. And we tend to do that. I know I have fell victim to that in the past as well, and many other people, where we ignore the red flags. And some of the red flags can look like this: manipulation, jealousy, disrespect. Those are red flags, and we cannot ignore that. So that is number 1. Do not ignore the red flags. Let's get into number 2. Number 2 is rationalize or making excuses for abusive behavior, where you make an excuse because someone would say, oh, he or she is tired at their job. They're so burnt out. They're overwhelmed. So they don't mean to treat me that way. They're just overwhelmed. We cannot make excuses for bad behavior, especially when we're dealing with grown folks. We're grown people. So as adults, we need to learn how to manage our anger, manage our emotions, and learn how to not to project. So whatever is going on in your partner's life, or if you know someone that's in a toxic relationship, don't ignore abusive relationship. Don't make excuses for it. Number 1, don't ignore the red flags. Number 2, don't excuse abusive behavior because they are going through something. Whatever people are going through, that is no excuse to treat you bad. No excuse for bad behavior, or especially abusive behavior. Let's get into number 3. Number 3, lack of boundaries. When you don't have boundaries, whether you have lack of, that means you got a little bit, or you have none at all, that can keep you in a toxic relationship because you don't know. And not that you don't know, you can know, but you don't know how to set boundaries, or you never have. And some of us are not even familiar with what boundaries look like. Let me just give you a little snippet on that, but I will make a video on that. Actually, if you scroll down into my videos, I do have a video about boundaries. Boundaries are beautiful safeguards that protect you. They are beautiful lines, safeguard walls, but beautiful walls, not those harsh, aggressive walls. Beautiful walls and beautiful lines that protect you and the other person. So they're actually a good thing. That's just sum it up. But scroll down and you'll be able to find the video that I made about boundaries. But that is number 3. Having lack of boundaries or no boundaries at all will keep you in a toxic relationship. Let's go into number 4, low self-esteem. When your self-esteem is low, Yeah, you're bound to stay in a toxic relationship. Why? Because you don't think you deserve more. You don't think you deserve better. You think this is it. This is what I deserve. This is all I can get. Either you think that's what you deserve, or you think that's what all I can get. This is it for me. What's in front of me is this is it. I'm going to play the cards that was dealt to me. I'm here to tell you, on unapologetically speaking, you can throw in that hand anytime and ask for another one. Take another hand. Get another hand. You can do that. Let's get into number 5. Isolation. Isolation from good, healthy support. A good, healthy support system such as friends and family. When you have been isolated and when you don't have a good, healthy support system such as good friends and family members, good, healthy, y'all pay attention to that word, that can keep you in a toxic relationship because you feel like, I don't have anyone. Where would I go? Where would I turn? You don't have anyone in your ear, a healthy ear, someone that's telling you healthy and giving you healthy advice and having healthy conversations with you and showing you, because people on the outside that look in can see different. So when you are isolated and you don't have that healthy support around you, you tend to stay in toxicity. Let's get into number 6, fear of being alone. And that is very high on the scale, especially now in this day and age, in this stage in life, especially for certain women. Fear of being alone when they become a certain age or a certain stage in their life. They settle for the devil they know than the one they don't. They just stay. Because let me tell you something that women do. I could talk about women all day long because I'm one. I can't speak for a man, only this much, because that's from, like getting in their head and getting to know their personality. But I can speak from a woman's standpoint all day. And let me tell you what women do when they're tired. They do 2 things. They settle or they leave. And fear of being alone means settling. So you stay in a toxic relationship because you feel, I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to stay. Let's keep going. Number 7, dependency. Dependency will show up all the time where you feel you choose your lifestyle. You choose what that person brings to the relationship, such as material things, monetary things. So you are dependent on them. You can be dependent on them financially, and you can also be dependent on them emotionally, where it's a codependent thing. And codependency, to me, one is the drug and one is the addict. If you scroll down to my videos, you'll find that video when I talk about codependency in a relationship. So a lot of times staying in a relationship, in a toxic, unhealthy relationship, that's because that dependency, whether it be financial, it could be, like I said, emotional, it can be all types of things, but you're depending on that person. So it keeps you there. Number 8, hope for change, where in the beginning, it was beautiful. And then through the months or even through the years, it started to change and it started to dwindle and become toxic. And I can speak from a woman's standpoint. We tend to think there's hope. I'm going to get that man that I married. He'll be back. He's going through something right now. Remember when we talked about number 2, trying to make excuses or have that, or rationalize that negative and abusive behavior, where we have that hope. So number 8 was that hope for he'll be back or she'll be back. They're going through something right now. They had death in the family, lack of money, change in this, change in the job, change in their health. So they will be back. So you stay for hope. Don't ever stay for hope. That's another video, but sometimes we do. That can keep you in a toxic relationship. Number 9, culture or society pressure and culture. Different cultures can put pressure on you when you come from, or you are married to, or you are dating in a certain culture. You feel this is what we do because this is what I have to do. I was raised to do this. I was brought up to do this. It's a culture thing and societal. A society puts pressure on us to stay in certain relationships, especially if we are a certain age, from a certain culture, from a certain background, even an economic background, an intellectual standpoint, culture and society can put pressure on you to stay in a toxic relationship because we feel this is what you do. Not true. Remember, these are the 14 biggest mistakes of why we can and why we do stay in toxic relationships. Let's get into it. Number 10 is lack of awareness. Some of you don't know that you are in a toxic relationship or the relationship has become toxic. So lack of awareness can keep you there because some people think abuse is just physical. No, I'm here to tell you, you hear it on Unapologetically Speaking. There's different types of abuse. There is emotional abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse. It is physical abuse, financial abuse. There are all different types of abuse, spiritual abuse. So people stay not knowing that they're being abused or it's some type of toxicity there because they're not aware of it. Okay. Number 11, guilt or blame. Let's get into that for a minute. What that look like. Number 11 with guilt or blame is when someone, example, is in a relationship with their partner, husband, wife, whatever, and they have done something in the past and they have corrected that wrong. They tend to stay, even though the relationship is toxic, because they feel I was once wrong, so I owe them this. So now that the relationship is toxic and the person that I wronged, my partner, is now has become toxic, I'm going to stay because I think I'm the blame for it because I was once wrong. I was once in their shoes. So now it's my turn. It's called karma. I don't believe in that. Look, if you are in a relationship and you have done something wrong or tainted the relationship, but you were able to rectify it and your partner said that they forgave you, there is no tit for tat. Forgiveness is for yourself. And if they forgave you, then it's for you as well. And then you move on and you continue to grow. But if you're in a relationship where it is tit for tat and you feel, well, they're doing me this way because I once was in their shoes and I did something wrong years ago. So now they're getting me back. That's toxic. It's not healthy. And that's not, both of you deserve better. It's time to go. Number 12 is trauma bonding. People tend to meet each other on a trauma bond stand, because like attract like, trauma attract trauma. I see that all the time, where people will meet in codependency type of environments and different settings, and you fall for that person because you feel their pain, because you can identify it, because you've been hurt, or you come from an abusive background or abusive home or a toxic childhood or a trauma childhood, or you have childhood trauma. So if you meet someone with childhood trauma, you start to bond. And then you start to develop a loving relationship and it forms in trauma bonding. So then the relationship becomes toxic. Even though you want to leave, you say, I can't leave them because I know how I feel to be abandoned. They was once abandoned. I was once abandoned. So we're going to stay. That's trauma bonding. Number 13, fear of retaliation. See this a lot, where you fear your safety. You fear, if I leave, what are they going to do? What will happen to my children? What will happen to me? What will happen to the house? What will happen to my life? What my life look like without them? How would they retaliate because your partner is so toxic, or they manipulate you to think or to feel that they may do something. So people stay in toxic relationships because they fear retaliation from their partner. And number 14, it should have been number 1, but it's number 14 today. It's unrealistic change. Let's talk about that. When you think your love is so great that it can change them, where you feel you are such a great woman or a great man that you can change them, that you are so prayed up that you can pray to change them. Let me tell you something. You can't change a man if he ain't in diapers, and the same go for a woman. Just like God give us free will, they got a choice. Do not bully people to stay in a relationship with you. That's bullying to say, I'm such a good person, they're going to stay. I'm so good that you have created unrealistic hope, false hope for yourself and also for the other person, thinking that you are that girl, that they're going to change for you. That ain't happening. People change because they want to change. They don't change for other people. They change genuinely, and that good, authentic change for self. And that's where you want it to come from. You want it to be authentic. So, those are the 14 biggest mistakes that can keep you in a toxic relationship. So, if you have any of this, or even 5, 3, 4, or 7 of these, click the link in the bio, because it's time for you to have a very realistic conversation with me so you can get unstuck and get out of whatever situation you are in. So again, this is Unapologetically Speaking, and I am Dr. Candace Elaine. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see all of y'all soon. Have a good day.